Wait, what? So earlier this morning, we made a video talking about Trevor Zegras and the headshot against Michael Rasmussen. We had spoken about how he was going to get a hearing, and later on in the afternoon, we got this news from the NHL's player safety Twitter account. Zegras has been suspended for 3 games for interference against Detroit's Michael Rasmussen. This came alongside of the news that Rasmussen would be out for a while. Andrew Kopp was also out. The Red Wings ended up recalling Sheldon Dries from the AHL. We had spoken about all that and more this morning, but this isn't even the only piece of news that we have between the Red Wings and the Anaheim Ducks. Yes, it's true that they played the other day. Yes, it's true. Patty Kane comes alive in the overtime. He wins the game. Yes, it is true that Zegras had this dirty, suspension-worthy and suspension-giving hit on Michael Rasmussen. But we actually have ourselves a trade. What the hell? The Anaheim Ducks have acquired Ville Husso from Detroit in exchange for future considerations? He will report to the San Diego Gulls in the AHL. And here's the thing, there are a bunch of people in the replies going out there and saying, oh, John Gibson is going to get traded. Gibson is leaving, so the Ducks needed to get another goalie. It's going to be Husso in now. And Elliot Friedman does go out there and say this. It does not sound like John Gibson's injury is a problem right here. He should be back soon. Gibson ended up leaving one of the earlier games after the break with an apparent injury, and that of course sucks for me because I have him in fantasy. He's been very good when he has been healthy, for the most part, but he hasn't necessarily been healthy, and the idea of a John Gibson trade has been looming over the NHL for years at this point. I mean, how many gosh darn times do we hear John Gibson's name linked to Edmonton every year? Seems to be an occurrence every single time. But anyways, we have ourselves the Ville Husso article. I wanted to go out there and take a look at this on the Anaheim Ducks website. Do they say anything about him that we can't find on Elite Prospects? No, not really. Yeah, so the Ducks have acquired Husso from the Red Wings for future considerations. He will report to the San Diego Gulls, Anaheim's primary development affiliate in the AHL. If we head over to Ville Husso, we look at the reason why Detroit traded this guy away. You might be saying, hey, this guy's kind of valuable, right? He's making $4.75 million a year. Well, that's just the thing. He's making $4.75 million a year, and he stinks. He's not good. He was never good for the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, he had a .919 save percentage with the St. Louis Blues in 2021-2022 in 40 games. Like, this seems so out of pocket, unattainable for Ville Husso when you think about his time in Detroit that was so bad that saw him get sent down to the AHL multiple times. 8.96 with the Wings in 22-23, 8.92 in 23-24, 8.66 this season in 9 games. The guy's been getting worse year after year. And sure, you can say the Wings weren't really all too competitive in front of Ville Husso. They certainly didn't have any sort of a Todd McClellan bump when Husso was with Detroit anytime in the past few years, but still, Ville Husso got clearly outbeat in net by even guys like Sebastian Cossa you can debate. Alex Lyon, Cam Talbot, they have it unlocked this season. Ville Husso, $4.75 million a year till the end of this season for free. The Red Wings got rid of this contract for free. I don't want to necessarily think about goaltending in Detroit as being a problem here, because as we just said, I mean, Cam Talbot and Lyon have been there. Even Sebastian Cossa was decent in the one game that he had. An .857 save percentage isn't the best, but the .267 goals against is technically better than Lyon's. So there certainly are goaltenders in the Red Wings organization that can step up and that can play minutes. Even if you go over to Grand Rapids, not only is Sebastian Cossa absolutely taking control over there, but you've got Jack Campbell, who is down there in the system. Yeah, remember him? Jack Campbell's a Detroit Red Wing. Ville Husso getting off of the team opens the door up a little bit more for the Red Wings and their goaltending situation. obviously, I don't think anybody is thinking about Jack Campbell as somebody who's got the potential to steal Lyon or Talbot's job anytime soon, but just having these guys rotating around in the crease, we all recognize that the number one goalie in the future for the Red Wings is going to be Sebastian Cossa. So whatever you can do to just kind of cultivate that system more and push him in that direction, you probably go out there and do. And Ville Husso, I mean, there was no value he was bringing to the Detroit Red Wings aside from maybe the occasional backup game with the Grand Rapids Griffins. I mean, his numbers were pretty good in the AHL this season, but then again, he's making $4.75 million a year. Those gosh darn numbers better be good. So he'll be going over to the AHL San Diego Gulls. It does not look like a trade for John Gibson has been accomplished just yet. We're all just speculating as to whether or not that could go down. And then by the time that does go down, your number 1-2 in Anaheim probably looks like Dostal and then Ville Husso. And then maybe rotate in whichever other goaltender that you acquire if you're Anaheim when you trade John Gibson away. Realistically, John Gibson, if he does get traded, is going to go over to a cup contender, which means that a cup contender probably has a... Oh, look at this snarky little tweet there by the Anaheim Ducks Twitter account. Thank you to future considerations and best of luck in Detroit. Any sort of a cup contender probably has a starting goalie already, so... I mean, if you want to think about Edmonton, if he gets Stuart Skinner back, like, obviously there's potential for him to maybe be a number 1B behind Lucas Dostal, but that's the easy one to go after, right? Stuart Skinner and the Oilers, Calvin Pickard. There are a bunch of other teams that I guess might be in the mix for a John Gibson-like asset, and then Ville Husso could go up, but if not, Ville Husso could just stay in the AHL system. The Anaheim Ducks getting this contract doesn't really hurt them. $4.75 million a year certainly is beefy, but hey, it's the Anaheim Ducks. They can afford to have this contract on their books till the end of this season. If he actually does help them, if he gives them support, if he is a body that they need because they need extra guys in the roster, then okay. I'm not really going to complain about this trade from the Anaheim Ducks point of view. It's just really interesting to see this kind of a trade go down moments after the Trevor Zegras suspension was handed out, which also involved these two teams. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about, firstly, I guess, the Trevor Zegras suspension. I didn't want to make a video about it because it was like, we kind of already talked about that earlier in today's show, and just making an entire video commentary about, we have the number now, it's 3 games, he's gotten a 3-game suspension. Like, I don't really think that's useful, but hey, there's a trade. Anaheim and Detroit. I mean, we could have made some jokes about Ville Husso being scouted by the Anaheim Ducks, but I mean, he was in the AHL, so it's not like he was really playing much with the Detroit Red Wings anyway. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Ville Husso and his trade over to Anaheim and the San Diego Gulls. What are your thoughts about the future of John Gibson? Do you think that is potentially in jeopardy? And what do you think a trade like this means for Stevie Y and the Red Wings? What can they do with $4-point-something million? $4.75 million of freed up cap space for nothing, for future considerations. Let me know in the comments what do you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.